Now, one thing is for sure, love is in the air. Another thing that is sure is that we can take a look at this new Herpa Wings model thanks to the great prices of the F&B shop to check out what they have done with this model and if it is worth our money and time. Check it out right after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A320NEO of Lufthansa. At the front of the box we have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, and on top of the box we find the Lufthansa branding. Now the same image we find once more here on the back side, and I mean, just look at it overall. When the airline doesn't want to be bothered with Herpa's usual standard box design, well, Herpa can actually do something that looks halfway decent. And here she is, the Airbus A320NEO in the somewhat standard livery of Lufthansa. It of course comes with the addition of the Lovehansa sticker at the front of the aircraft, but we will go through all the details the aircraft model has to offer in this review, and the best way to figure out what the model actually has to offer is by simply taking a closer look at the tail section to begin with, where we on the vertical stabilizer find the Lufthansa branding. On the fuselage we then have the full registration code of the aircraft, the German flag and the flag of the European Union, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we also find a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. Now on this aircraft, as well as on many of the other current Herpa Wings releases of A320 family aircraft models, we see on top of the fuselage Herpa has added a sat dome, and that is not entirely incorrect given that the real aircraft does have a sat dome, but as you can see on the images it is quite a bit smaller. Now I hardly want to criticize Herpa for adding details, but I think the better solution would have been not to add a physical detail here, but a print instead. Moving on to the front of the aircraft, where we of course find the main highlight in the livery, and that's of course the addition of the Lovehansa sticker. Next to the front cabin door we also have the LGBTQ plus colors. Underneath all that we then find the aircraft type specification, the name of the aircraft and the Lufthansa branding. We of course also have a static port underneath that, and we find the Star Alliance logo, of which Lufthansa is a founding member. And underneath the cockpit windows we then find the Lufthansa logo, and also here at the cockpit section static port more, as well as the black mask around the cockpit windows and the window wipers printed on. So overall actually a quite decent look for the cockpit section in my opinion. Now a look at the engine nacelles reveals they have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but we do find the silver leading edge as well as some safety markings printed on, and especially the safety markings really do elevate the otherwise maybe a little bit boring engines. But the physical detailing of the engines is actually quite nice, especially here from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. Then on the fuselage, just above the wings, we have the emergency exits printed on, and that leads us straight to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out quite nicely, and we also find the markings for the emergency exit printed on the underside of the wings. Then gives us more nice physical detailing, especially lovely here, the pylons. Then of course we do need to check the winglets on all A320 family aircraft models from Herpa Wings, because unfortunately they are very inconsistent with those, but on this aircraft model I think they have done quite well with the angle of them. But as I say, you really do need to check this for every single aircraft, even within one production batch. On this occasion however I think Herpa has done pretty well, and it also looks pretty neat with the Lufthansa logo and the little heart printed on. The landing gear is, as per usual, the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all the Airbus A320 family aircraft models. A good thing for the main landing gear, which looks pretty decent. Not such a good thing for the front landing gear, which is massively oversized and of course as always is missing printed details. And also the belly of the aircraft is a bit of a disappointment. Here we have a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model, making it rather pointless, but at least it doesn't destroy any printed details in this occasion. And then finally we do have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A320NEO in the standard livery of Lufthansa with the Lovehansa sticker from Herpa Wings in 1-500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Now, let's be clear, this is very much the basic standard of Herpa Wings in 2023. The aircraft doesn't offer us anything exciting, anything new, anything innovative. But what it does quite well. For example, the print quality overall, I think, is actually really good on this aircraft model. I haven't really noticed any major smudges or anything that has been misplaced, so that's pretty good. And also, for example, on this aircraft model, the A320 family, I've always been critical of Herpa's cockpit section, the shape of that, but on this aircraft model, as well as on many of the recent releases, I don't know, maybe I've just gotten used to how it looks, or they have slightly adapted something, but I actually don't think this looks totally terrible, which I did used to in the past. Of course, we're not entirely freed from the usual Herpa nonsense, like the hole in the fuselage for a stand that is not included with the aircraft model, or the totally oversized front end gear, and now recently also the quite a bit oversized sat dome. But especially with the sat dome, I really find it hard to criticize Herpa when they finally do add details to actually criticize them for it. But it is not entirely correct. That has to be said. Still, I think this is a pretty solid aircraft model from Herpa Wings, at least to their current standard. Not that they couldn't do better, but for what they're delivering at the moment, this is solid. And therefore I would say yes, absolutely worth having in one's collection. Now with that, we've reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. And if you're new around here, why not hit subscribe? With that, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.